The community taking notice of a series of high-profile sexual abuse cases, seemingly week after week. Joining us now, Syracuse University adjunct professor, former first chief assistant DA, Rick Trunfio. Rick, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.
I want to draw from your expertise and your experience as the chief of the Special Victims Bureau, specializing in the investigation and prosecution of child abuse cases. So this is the question everyone is asking, parents especially. What is going on with all these sex abuse cases?
So that's a great question. It's a combination of things. When you see a rash of these things in the media, it's usually twofold. First of all, you have a high level of reporting because there have been high-profile cases in the media prior. And what do we know about child sexual abuse cases? Child sexual abuse cases, 90 to 95% of the victims are known to the perpetrator. And it's very simple that it's a crime of opportunity. In other words, if you have children, you have to go to Wegmans to shop. You don't go to the park and look at Chester the molester who's leering at kids and say, hey, can you watch my kid? You go to trusted Uncle Joey, or you go to grandpa, or your live-in boyfriend, or whoever. People that you trust. So most child sexual abuse occurs either within the family or somebody close to the family, a coach, a pastor, a teacher, right? So child sexual abuse is underreported to begin with. What happens is when you get a case like Pontello, people start noticing, they start asking questions, and the Pontello case really started a domino effect with a lot of things. I know that Pam Hunter has a law now that she's proposed, a statute, to beef up the Sexual Assault Reform Act, which was done in the mid-90s.
1995, right.
And, the funny thing about it is the Pontello case, that wasn't really a function of the Sexual Assault Reform Act as it was that the DA and the judge in Oswego County missed things.
Right.
Important factors that they didn't factor into the...
And just to familiarize people, he was level 1, which is the least...
He was a
offense.
level 1.
Right.
People didn't know where he lived because there's certain categories where
you're not on the registry as a level 1.
And but Pam has always been, when I was in the office, she always at least listened. She listened. She wanted to know the consequences of things. So it doesn't surprise me that she's kind of looking at, do we need this updated? And a law from the 30 years ago, you need updated.
Yeah, there are factors that are not being considered now, right, with the current assessment, including cyber crimes. So it would only make sense, right, to update the registry assessment tool.
So think about where we were in the 90s with regard to the internet, cell phones. Most of it were still analog, and so now we're in this digital age where kids have access to the world. And so you do see a lot more internet crime, and the internet crime is not just related to child pornography. You're seeing kids that are being solicited in chat rooms, on social media, there's a few social media platforms that predators just flock to because that's where kids are, gaming platforms. And so for parents, you really have to be cognizant of what your kids are looking at. I think that the issue for parents, and I understand this as a parent, I understand it, is that you don't want your kids to be the odd person out. You want them to socialize. Their friends have cell phones. They have tablets. They're on social media. And so you give in. I know parents say, my kid's not having a phone until they're 15 or 16. 12, they got one.
Right.
They can't help it. So, and I'm not sure the laws that, there's a lot of states are passing laws, a lot of countries are passing laws prohibiting kids under a certain age to get on social media. Technology's technology. Kids are going to find a way to do it. So it's really up to the parents to be really vigilant. Put the blocks on, double check, see who they're on, make sure that you know their passcodes, because the internet's a really dangerous place for kids, and predators are out there. Trust me when I tell you they are out there.
Right, and so important to keep this on parents' radar. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back.
Okay.
Because we got to pick up this conversation and make sure everyone is aware of the dangers out there. Rick Trunfio, thank you.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.